The now famous Seiko SKX 007-009 series has long been a fan favourite of watch enthusiasts, movie stars, and other well-known figures for decades. Its cult status is a gateway for many of us into the world of horology, myself included. When Seiko decided to unofficially cease production and replace it with the Seiko 5 line, there was quite an uproar, and deservedly so. SKXs have always had a modding community, with some successful companies making hundreds of parts to spec your Seiko out any way you like. But I think this particular SKX is what Seiko should have updated or replaced the previous generation with. Because, let's face it, that Seiko shuffle to get the old 72S movement ticking away is so 1980s tech. Not that there's anything wrong with that. To the untrained eye, this just looks like another SKX, and that's a good thing. Why mess with an iconic design? This is still a stainless steel 42mm case with a thickness of 13.33mm, a short lug to lug, that famous 46mm, and a lug width of 22mm. The semi-polished case has no other markings or fancy finishing, while there's a gentle slope of the lugs that only enhances its great wearability. Usually paired with an awful rubber strap, or the charming yet rattly Jubilee bracelet, Tai opted for a curved rubber strap from Crafter Blue, and it's perfect. It's rugged but soft and molds really well to the wrist. I do wish the buckle was a little smaller here to reduce some of the chunkiness, but it sits beautifully on wrist otherwise. At the 4 position, there's an adequately sized, signed, yeah that's right, it's signed, and screw down crown. This helps to retain the 200 meters of water resistance, while the grooves help grip and wind the upgraded NH36 movement. More on that shortly. In the first position, we have the day-date changing function, while in the second, there's hacking of the seconds hand, finally, woo! And the usual time changing function as well. On the reverse, no surprises here, it's the standard solid screw-in case back with the wave engraving that's polished like the rest of the case and case back. Simple, cost-effective, and robust. As stated earlier, beating away behind this and powering this modded SKX is the ever-reliable NH36 automatic movement. This is a great and obvious cost-effective upgrade from its predecessor. A full wind, that's right, we have manual winding, gives 41 hours of power reserve, and it beats away at approximately 21,600 beats per hour. There's also bi-directional winding with nil rotor noise. The newer Seiko 5 line uses a similar movement, and this potentially could be another viable option in the future for SKX modifications. Maybe. Don't quote me on that. The upgraded Coin Edge 120 click unidirectional bezel is an obvious change here. It's a ceramic finish with lume numerals, and it's just perfect in my opinion. The only letdown was the action was rather stiff and turning the bezel was very difficult. Unfortunately, I'm told this particular bezel was sourced from lume ceramic bezels and was only a prototype. So lucky for Tai, he has a very unique SKX limited edition bezel if you like. The flat sapphire crystal with clear anti-reflection coating sits up top, and behind this is another subtle change with a dial source from the SKX 171. I love this look and am a huge fan, and actually have done the same mod on my personal SKX. The layout remains similar, however there's now applied indices with polished bordering instead of the original printed dials. It just adds a touch of elegance and increased legibility in my opinion. Finishing is reasonable for the price, even under macro, and the outer chapter ring remains, as does the now well-known SKX handset and seconds hand with counterbalance. This SKX is subtle in its changes, yet makes it a far better watch overall while retaining that SKX heritage. The movement swap puts it back on par with its competition like the Orient Ray series, one I've also owned, and really is what I think Seiko should have done with the SKX. Instead, we have a line of watches that have been made to sell in large chain retail stores, and while I understand brands need to make money, it's disappointing to see that the real watch enthusiasts have been forgotten here. Will the SKX live on for decades to come? Let's hope so. What do you guys think? Is the Seiko 5 the right replacement? If not, what would you choose instead? Comment below, I'd love to hear what you say, and I'll see you in the next one. Catch ya! Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel, it really helps. And if you want to see more daily content, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Mr. Ace K Productions. See you next time.